Welcome to the Roost News, the place for all things volunteer. I am Lillian Lee, co-lead for the Roost News, and the story is Encore Creativity for Older Adults. And I will introduce my guests at this time. We have four very distinguished guests to talk about the story of Encore. First, Dr. Mary Ann East, Artistic Director for Lifelong Learning and Research, Encore Creativity for Older Adults. Suzanne LaFollette-Black, AARP North Carolina volunteer and Encore Board of Directors member, singer of Encore Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Melody Makers and formerly Cape Fear Region, Wilmington, North Carolina, Encore Chorale and Sentimental Journey singers. We also have Angela Burns, Cape Fear Region, Wilmington, North Carolina, Encore Conductor of the Encore Chorale and Sentimental Journey Singers, and Vickie Knowles, Cape Fear Region, Wilmington, North Carolina, Encore Chorale and Encore Sentimental Journey Singer and volunteer. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us for a podcast on Encore. This is a very heartwarming initiative that you're doing for older adults, and we'll get to your story in just a few minutes. But before we hear your story, I'd like for each of you to share a little bit about you, and we can just go in the same order that you were introduced.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Ann East. Again, I'm the Artistic Director for Lifelong Learning and Research at Encore. Before coming to Encore, I came from the world of music education. I've been a lifelong singer. Music is very big in my family, and so I wanted to be a music teacher. And I taught for Fairfax County Public Schools in Virginia for about 6 years, all levels from elementary all the way up through high school. From there, I actually went to George Mason University as an adjunct professor and was there in their School of Music for 15 years. And in the meantime, I was looking for conducting work, music teaching work during the day. My kids were getting older, and I needed to be home in the evening to take them to soccer practice and, drum lessons and all kinds of things. And I ran across an ad for conductors for Encore, and they were happening during the day when my kids were in school. So I started with Encore in 2018 as one of our chorale conductors in the Virginia area. And over time have grown to love the mission and the work with older adults. And in 2019, our founder, Gene Kelly, tapped me to help start our what we now call our Arts for Life programs, which is what we're going to talk about more today, to keep our singers singing as long as possible. So over the last few years, my title has changed a little bit as I've become more involved on the administrative side, but I'm very excited to be working at Encore and absolutely love my work.
Thank you. Suzanne.
Okay, thanks, Lillian. Thank you so much, Mary, and I love your enthusiasm. I'm Suzanne LaFollette-Black, and I am a past AARP staffer for 22 years. And I was in Georgia and also, of course, in North Carolina. I'm a gerontologist I can't believe it's been 40 years. I'm also a musician, and music's been a big part of my life, all my life. Um, I started out singing and playing clarinet and piano, and I've learned, thanks to Wilmington Harp Society, learned how to play the harp. I'm also an alto. I used to be a soprano like Julie Andrews. I thought I aspired to be like her, but my voice said, nope, you're going to be an alto, which is great. I love being an alto. Um, Music is really the universal language globally, and I've been able to practice that not only as a volunteer, but also as a musician. I used to be a Linda Ronstadt in a band back in the day in high school and college, and so I like all genres of music, but this opportunity with Encore was just too good to pass up. So when I was approached by AARP in national office, they said, would you like to start a pilot down in Wilmington, North Carolina? And I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so there are three other folks that are also co-founders of our Encore down in Wilmington, North Carolina. And we were able to get things going, and we got the right conductor, which is Angela.
Thank you.
And she can tell her story.
Hi, everybody. I'm Angela Burns. I am the Cape Fear Encore Chorale Director and also the Sentimental Journey Singer. I would say that I lead them, but I really feel like we lead one another as it pertains to Sentimental Journey Singers. But more about that later. A little bit about me is I grew up here, actually in Wilmington, North Carolina. And then after getting my undergraduate degree, I auditioned for the professional choir in the Air Force called the Singing Sergeant and won that position. So in 1994, I joined the Singing Sergeants and was with them for 23 years, became their musical conductor, and then ended up being the manager of the ensemble as a chief master sergeant in the Air Force. And one of my favorite things to do that we did in the Air Force was we performed for veterans. And it was always so interesting to hear their stories. In 2016, I retired from the Air Force because my mom's memory was slipping. And actually, my husband said to me, I think it's time that we move back to Wilmington. And so we did, and I've been here since 2016, making music with 5 different choirs to Encore, which I love.
Okay, Vickie.
All right. We're very glad you came back to Wilmington, Angela. Many of us. I was raised in Haddonfield, New Jersey, First Presbyterian Church, where you start singing when you're 3 years old. And they give you a robe and a flashlight, and it's more fun than you've ever had before. So you keep singing. Um, Fantastic music program. I've been in choirs as we moved around the country. Um, Golly, love to sing, kids sing, all of that. When I was approached by one of the founders, Melinda, I think about 3 years ago, to join the Encore Chorale. The wonderful aspect of that was the rehearsals were during the day, and many of us are getting to the point where driving at night, especially on a rainy night, isn't really the most fun we've ever had. So that was quite a nice asset. The other point that drew me into Encore was my husband had just retired and we wanted to rent a place in Spain for a few weeks. And you can't do that with other musical groups. If you miss, I think 3 rehearsals is normal for a semester, um, well, then you're out. So I had rearranged trips and rearranged babysitting grandchildren to fit into rehearsal time and realized the freedom of being able to sing during the day and practice on their incredibly strong resources online so that you can miss rehearsal, but you're actually not missing um, the knowledge of singing. So that is my intro to Encore. Suzanne asked me to get into sentimental journey singers, and that's, I think, become one of the most important events of my week. There is absolutely nothing like being with a room full of people who are so grateful to be there and happy. And Angela is an exciting leader, so it's fast paced and tons of laughter. So happy to be part of the group.
Well, great. Thank you all so much for sharing your story or part of your story. I'm sure that you have much more that you can share. But to get started with Encore, I know that there are 5 regions in North Carolina, but when we think of Encore, why Encore? How did you get started? And as I think about our 5 regions, the Triangle, Triad, Mountain, Charlotte, and the Coastal, are there any Encore programs in North Carolina?
Actually, there are, and our first was over almost 4 years ago uh, in Wilmington, and we saw the value that it brought. We met at the Cameron Art Museum. We felt that was a good place to meet. It was very diverse and just was fantastic. It just really is a great venue. But then we thought, we need to do something with Sentimental Journey singers where people, our loved ones with dementia and also their caregiver to give them some purpose and also to help with their brain health because music is really hardwired in our brains. And I have to say, personally, my husband had dementia. So in 2021, my husband was getting worse with his dementia and what have you. And we started working on this actually in the last quarter in 2020 with AARP and Encore Creativity for Older Adults with Joshua Vickery, who's the CEO, and our own James Brooks, Dr. Brooks at AARP. And when I received the call, they said, "We know you're a musician. Would you be interested in getting something started?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And so they gave me the name of Melinda and also Karen, who had already been in a chorale group up in the DC area. And we got together and we started working on it. And so the value that that brought was that we were able to work with AARP. I was working there as an associate state director then. But also, we got other groups like the Cameron Art Museum. We got Cape Fear Area Agency on Aging. We got Life Care Memory Partners, which is a hospice and palliative care organization, and the New Hanover County Senior Center. They all just embraced Encore, and we were able to develop our two Encore programs with the chorale at the Cameron Art Museum, and then also the Seminole Journey Singers, which we actually were at a church for 15 weeks. And so it was like a spring and a fall for that year of 2021. Due to the growth, the Cape Fear Sentimental Journey Singers meet now at the new Hanover Senior Center. They've doubled in their size. And then also what we did over in Cameron Art Museum with the Encore Chorale, it's doubled as well. And that's really fantastic. Yes. So that's the coastal region over down in the Wilmington area, Brunswick County, Topsail, the beach, that type of thing. Then, we started talking to some other groups and I said, you know what, we need to replicate this up in the Triangle region, which we're from now, Lillian, since I live in Pinehurst. And we thought, let's do this. So contacted Janice Tyler of the Orange County Department of Aging. I said, what do you think? That was 3 years ago. I sat down with her and I said, love to see if we could do something there. Well, it happened this year. And it was a pilot for 6 weeks in collaboration with the Our Place group that already had met there with caregivers and their loved ones with dementia. Also the Dementia Alliance North Carolina, of course, AARP Triangle region, and some private donors. And it really was a fantastic experience. I have to say that the conductor, Susan, was amazing, and we hope to get an Encore Chorale started in the Triangle region and also replicate a Melody Makers over in Wake County, which is over in Raleigh. So we're working with the church right now on that. So that's kind of where we are.
Okay, wonderful. How exciting is this? Encore. Wow. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the mission. The mission, lifelong learning, wellness, and time commitment. Why do you feel Encore covers lifelong learning and wellness?
So, Encore's mission is to create meaningful arts experiences that support lifelong learning, wellness, and as you said, fun for older adults. So through that, the lifelong learning really happens in many ways. We offer a lot of different opportunities for participating in different activities. So you'll hear about, we have chorales and we have rock and roll groups. We now have Broadway groups. We have these Arts for Life programs. And our unofficial motto from our founder, Gene Kelly, is to sing for life. So really however we can keep folks engaged for as long as possible in singing and in learning. So we've got all of these different singing options. And then of course, when COVID came in 2020 and we couldn't sing in person and we found we couldn't sing on these Zoom meetings together. We developed what we call Encore University, which came out of that need of keeping our singers engaged. We couldn't come together to sing, so what could we do? And so we, as the conductors, got together and figured out, I remember Jean called me on the phone and said, Marianne, what can you talk about for an hour? And so we got very creative about what we could teach folks about music, about singing when we couldn't physically sing together. So we now offer, through generous support from AARP, we have 10-week classes that we offer in the fall and in the spring semester. We have a variety of things that we offer this semester. We have Tai Chi on Mondays. We have an African American music class that meets on Tuesdays. We have on Wednesdays is dance music around the world. So they've been to Ireland and Spain and a couple different countries so far. And then Thursdays, we have a class called Building Your Voice, and that's a class that we offer every semester. And it's essentially an online voice class that people learn how the mechanism works, good warm-ups, how to stay vocally healthy, working through some vocal challenges that we all experience as we age and as the mechanism changes with time. So we have those wonderful opportunities. And then each month we host two different masterclass series. One is our artistic masterclass series where we invite different artists, composers, conductors, singers, performers to come and present their expertise in their area. And we have a monthly arts and health research masterclass where we invite different scientists, researchers, practitioners to present about many, many different subjects. We've had subjects around brain health, music therapy, and how you can use music therapy practices in the home if you're not able to get to a therapist, but some of the things that you can do at home. We've had all kinds of different subjects. So it's been great. We've been learning about social prescribing and how we can get involved in that movement. And those are all funded through AARP. So we're very glad to be able to offer those for free. Or for folks that want to make a donation to that. So we offer many, many different opportunities. Angela, how do you view lifelong learning in your chorale and in your sentimental journey singers?
Well, like Suzanne said before, music is the universal language. It's what brings all of us together. And its benefits are wide ranging, including cognitive, physical, social improvements that happen while singing. Our chorale here in the Cape Fear has really grown. We started with 16, I believe, and now we're at 55. And it's just a joyful time of not just making music, but getting to know one another, like Vickie said, laughing, meeting your neighbor on your right and your left, moving the body, because making music is also freeing the body up to move. We are really a support network for one another. And I say to the Encore Chorale that it's special because the sound that they're making is unique to them. It'll never be made again by anybody else. And that's so interesting about choirs. And with the sentimental journey singers, Vickie will probably touch on this, but we check on one another. We become family with one another. We want to know how your week has been and what happened during your week. And if there's anything we can do to support you, I would say Encore in general is just a very creative supporting network that has really surprised me. And I'm now completely on board. And as one of those vocalists who is aging, thank you, Marianne, I'm constantly looking for ways to work with my mechanism and singing in my body and freeing the body. So it's just it's a joyful time.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, wow. As we age in place and age gracefully, and we have all of these opportunities before us, and from what you all have shared thus far, Encore is one of those opportunities that I'm so happy you're here to share more about it because a lot of people don't know about Encore. I think I heard it for the first time when Suzanne mentioned it to me, and I thought, oh, wow, Encore. I know more people, more volunteers, more staff need to get involved with Encore. So then the other thing is the fun element. I know AARP nationally has the fun and fulfillment program. What do you all do for fun? It sounds like it's all incorporated already, but any other things that you do for fun?
Um, I'd love to answer that one. There are, before I forget, I just wanted to share a comment that one of our Sentimental Journey caretakers offered at our Christmas party last year,
Mhm.
and we're all sitting around the table, basically saying what we were grateful for and what this organization had meant to us. And I will never forget this petite, fairly shy woman said, with her husband sitting by her, most places we go, we're a problem.
Hmm.
And we walk through this door and we're loved, we're accepted, we're made to feel. I don't think any of us will ever forget that.
Yes, that's a
But that's
story in
the
itself.
heart.
Mhm.
That's the essence of what we're trying to accomplish at Sentimental Journey Singers. So with they may vary throughout the country, but the way Angela runs ours is there is constant talk going on. There's laughter, there's jokes. She'll get this big pillow, make eye contact, sail it like a quarterback across the room, and the person catches it. And she'll say, bacon or sausage? Which one? What's it going to be? And
Mhm.
that, you know, anybody can come up with a defensive bacon or sausage. So that starts it, and then the stories will start. And I remember the time I was in the service when I got some bacon, and it's a very lively, quick exercise movement going on. There's shakers. We
Mhm.
play instruments. Everybody's got drums and tambourines, and the piano's going. So that's the kind of fun that I think. I mean, you could sell tickets. You could honestly sell tickets to this. There is
Great,
laughter.
great.
Um, and the chorale is also fun. A lot of Angela again uses the technique of just picking somebody that maybe doesn't look like they're all that involved and asking a question and getting them to talk about themselves and sharing something. And the fact that it's scheduled, you get out of the house, you go be with friends, you have to use your mind to do the work, to sing the song. All kinds of good things are going on. So that's the lifelong learning as well as the fun.
Great, great. Wow. Okay. This is getting more and more exciting. So there are people who are listening that may be interested in becoming involved in Encore. Maybe they want to be one of the chorale singers or just get, not more information right now. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But as far as getting involved, participating in Encore, what is that process?
So there are many ways that you can be involved in Encore. Obviously, by joining one of the groups. Again, we have our chorales. The chorales sing a variety of music, folk tunes, a little bit of American songbook, sometimes a little Broadway, gospel spiritual, some classical. It's really a combination of music. We have rocks programs in some of our areas. They sing all pop and rock and roll music. And that's from 50s, 60s all the way to today. And we try to get them a rock band to perform with for their
Mhm.
concerts. We are just starting Broadway choirs. We have just a few right now, but they're really catching on. So that's all your musical theater and Broadway repertoire.
Mhm.
And then with our Arts for Life programs, if you have a loved one that's on a cognitive change dementia journey, obviously we want to have them involved. And all of our programs, both Sentimental Journey Singers and Melody Makers, are really designed for them to participate with their loved one, with their care partner.
Mhm. Mhm.
Part of it, as I see, is that it's a moment for them to do something together when so many times the care partner is doing something for their loved one. This is really a chance for them to engage in something together. And it's also open to the broader community because we really want to educate, we want to destigmatize. And so we would love to have what we call choral companions, which are our volunteer singers, to come and sing with them, and with melody makers as well. If there is a life plan community or a CCRC in the area, many of our groups are also located there so that they don't have to travel and maybe just go down the elevator, or we come to the memory care floor for melody makers, but they're still designed to invite the independent living residents to come and participate with them. We want that locked door to not be so scary. We want
Right.
them to come and see their friends and engage with their friends for as long as they can. So there's many opportunities.
Right.
We also do travel over the summer. We do summer camps.
Okay.
Our founder would always say, did you ever want to send your grandparents to camp? Now you can send your grandparents to camp. So we do camps around the country. We will
Mm-hmm.
have this summer a chorale camp. Actually, it'll be a Chorale Rocks Broadway if you want to kind of
Wow.
experience all of them. In Philadelphia, we will have a rock and roll camp in Memphis this year. We will
Nashville,
have, sorry,
Nashville.
Nashville. We were Memphis 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In Nashville this year. And then we are doing a river cruise through Europe
Okay.
if people want to go on a big excursion. And then we do some local summer engagement as well, some smaller things. So we try to have a variety of offerings for, affordability, for different opportunities if people want to travel, if they don't want to travel quite so far. We try to offer a lot of different opportunities. And then we'll have our masterclass series go through the summer as well. So
Wow.
there's lots of
A
opportunities.
lot of
And
opportunities. Yes.
yes, and then of
Yes.
course, if you want to get involved in sponsoring, like AARP does, then there are opportunities for that as well.
Great. Great. Well, you've given a lot of information, a wealth of information, because I'm hearing sentimental journey singers, I'm hearing a chorale, and then there are other opportunities. So it's just not, I guess Encore is the umbrella, and all these
Mhm.
other things sort of lead into it or lead into Encore. Encore has them. Wow, wow. What a lot of information. And as I sit here thinking about all that you all have shared, AARP does have 53 offices. And part of our Roost News program is to enlighten all of the offices. So if there is an AARP office that would like to get involved or partner with Encore, how would they go about doing that? And you mentioned something about cost. I'll go back to a cost for an individual who wants to join or an AARP office that wants to be a part of Encore.
So as far as the AARP is concerned, we've got in North Carolina, we have three programs right now under Encore, soon to start some others. And then we have one in Tennessee that just launched this last year. So those North Carolina and Tennessee have made an investment as far as the state offices are concerned. And so I know that we've got 11 states, I think, in DC. Is that right,
Yep.
Marianne? And so, if people are interested and they would like to start a chorale or a Seminole Journey Singers or melody makers or something, they can actually contact info at encorecreativity.org,
Mhm.
and a staff person will get back. It'll probably be Marianne and or Catherine. And then also, if someone wants to sponsor at their state office to get started, I mean, that's how we got involved, here in North Carolina. And then we worked with all these folks in the Aging Network, and we thought, what a perfect blend to
Mhm.
really make this happen. And it has just been an outstanding outcome. It really has. People like Vickie just touched me because that's what it's all about. But your one person said, I can say that about my own husband. I had him back
Mhm.
when he could actually sing with others. and he couldn't read a lick of music, but he had a nice voice.
Right.
And but he remembered every word. And what a gift! What a gift on
Wonderful.
that.
So, just a
Marianne,
side note, do you have to have a nice voice to be a part of the chorale?
That's a loaded
I
question.
know. I thought I'd just sort of ask that for the fun of it.
Um,
no
the
auditions.
important thing is you do not have to
Right.
audition. We welcome all who
All
want to sing.
singers. Okay. Okay.
And you don't have to have any previous experience.
Okay.
We
Good
have a
point.
lot
Good
of
point.
resources
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, to help folks.
Yes.
So I gained somebody in one of the chorales that I conduct because he was walking down the hall at the senior center
Hey,
to play pickleball, and we
what's
were
going on?
rehearsing, and he poked his head in and he talked to my coordinator, and he came in and he sat down and he started singing, and he came up to me afterwards and said, "Oh, I'll find another time to play pickleball. This is
Oh,
a
wow.
hoot." And he had so much fun. But then he said, "I've never been in chorus before." And
Okay.
I said, "That's okay. We're going to
Hmm.
help you figure this out." So we offer lots of online resources like marked scores. We have word sheets for our Arts for Life programs. If they don't want to deal with music, they
Hmm.
can just have a sheet of lyrics.
Oh, okay.
We have recorded tracks to help practice, so they don't have to know how to play piano and plunk out their part. They can sit and listen. We have online rehearsals. If they miss a week or they just want some extra rehearsals, they can come to one of the online rehearsals. They're recorded, they can watch them on their own time. So there's lots and lots of resources that we have to help folks be successful because that's what it
Excellent.
really is. We are process over performance. It's
Hmm.
not about the concert, it's about all the things that we're doing each week in rehearsals and learning and getting to know people and build community.
Wow, what a program. What a program. This is exciting. And it's good to know you don't have to be able to be a well-known singer. Just go and your support is there for you. Many, many resources. I think that you all have shared a wealth of information, but I want to know if there's anything else that you would like to share with our audience.
I would share that with our chorale, our rocks, our Broadway programs, there is
Hmm.
tuition.
Hmm.
And there's also scholarships available.
Okay.
Again, we don't want that to be a reason that you don't join us. So
Good. Very good.
if there is a need, we will figure out a way to help you join a group. Our Arts for Life programs, again, our Sentimental Journey Singers and our Melody Makers programs, through all this wonderful support that we've had through AARP and Dementia Care Alliance and different foundations and host sites, we are able to offer that for free. And we hope to continue to do that because we know that there is a lot of cost already involved in caring for a loved one with dementia.
Hmm.
So we're very grateful for all the different partnerships that we have established to be able to do that. So if one of the AARP state offices is interested in starting one of those programs, then we would have that conversation about what that support would need to be. And it's been wonderful working with Suzanne and her connections because she's been able to introduce us
Hmm.
to all of these other organizations that are local and want to help support this.
Great, great, great.
I'd also say, just listening to Mary Ann talk about Encore Creativity as the umbrella and everything that falls under it can be rather difficult to digest, if you will. So don't let it intimidate you. Persevere. Just pull out your phone or your computer and Google Encore Creativity, and you'll find something that speaks to you.
Very good.
I
Yes.
wanted to add too that as we're all in this boat, sailing along, the singing is probably the most healthy thing we can be doing for ourselves
Hmm.
and each other. And I had no idea that that was true until I started reading the AARP articles. But
Great.
it's phenomenal
Hmm.
what keeping music, either playing an instrument or singing, does to your neurological system. And if you want to take care of your health, This is a real good place to begin.
Yes.
And
I have to,
we
I have
grew
to,
out of research.
yes,
That
absolutely.
was how we started, was the Dr. Jean Cohen Creative Aging Study. And it was compelling information, lower blood pressure, less medication, less
Wow.
falls, less doctor visits, more involved in their community in other areas of their life.
Yes, yes.
So it absolutely is good for your health in many, many ways.
Mhm.
And I have to go back to what Angela said. It's about relationships, it's about community. It also reduces isolation, and
Mhm.
you get great friends out of it, like Vickie. So, I'm really, really blessed that, my Encore family is just grown and so lucky to be involved with all of them. And Lillian, I would love to see you sing with us or be a volunteer with us. I did work on your brother-in-law and your sister at one point, and they always were at the concerts, always in full
Sounds
support.
good to me. One day, maybe, just one
Yeah,
day.
it'd be
But
great.
it will not be today, Suzanne. Anyway, we thank you all, Marianne, Angela, Vickie, and my friend Suzanne. Thank you so much for coming and sharing about Encore. This has been wonderful. I know that the state offices may be in contact with you. Also, a volunteer may be in contact with you because our audiences are the AARP state staff and the AARP volunteers. And the volunteers have friends who may not be volunteers that they can recommend this program for. So we cover a gamut here, and we thank you all for sharing such valuable information. I did not realize Encore spread its wings in so many different directions. So thank you. Thank you again, guests, for sharing with us. And to staff and volunteers, thank you for listening. We encourage you to subscribe to our Roost News podcast, and you can listen to it on your favorite audio platform. And again, thank you for joining us. And just continue to listen to our podcast. We have a lot of stories to tell. And of course, invite your other colleagues to be with us. And on behalf of the Roost News team, we thank you. And I'm going to ask my guests if they'll just keep smiling. They look so beautiful. And thank you